Hi folks, and welcome to DNDMajor. I am Gina, and I'm going to be your DM today, and I am joined by...
I'm Allison, I'm playing Farlina, the Tiefling Sorcerer.
I'm Evan, I'm playing Valen, the High Elf Rogue.
I'm Gus, I'm playing Tybalt, a human druid.
And this is Victor, I'll be playing Tamhir, the half-elf cleric.
All right. 4 pairs of green eyes burn out of the face of the looming horned creature that is currently staring your direction. Its black wings pulse against its back, and after a moment of sort of dumbstruck staring, it takes a step towards you and then darts its head to the side, looking back towards the braying boar and elk that are sort of circling in the area. They're still running, they're still panicked, they're still terrified as the ground quakes beneath your feet. You can see the cracks splitting from the void have grown, some of them dipping into the lake now, and it seems like the void has inched maybe a little bit closer. The creature turns back towards you, and it is so tall, and it is staring.
Can I give the universal just hi wave? Just hand up.
I throw another fire up in my hands.
Geez.
I've got 2. I just have 2 up cautiously.
Well,
I'm not attacking or anything. I just summon one more.
that's mixed signal.
And like
I can be your angel. Or your devil.
and I'm
let's
cautiously
resolve that.
have both of my hands up.
At the conjuration of magic, this creature bristles back. It almost has like spines that grow out of its back, its form getting taller and backing away with its wings beating hard against the ground. It almost looks, it's strange because its eyes are just light. They're burning out of the inside of what looks like its skull, but it's almost like their pupils dilate. They get wide and big, and all of its attention is focused on you.
Does Farlina happen to be next to me?
I mean, you all kind of came through at the same time, so like,
Yeah.
kind of.
Sorry, y'all. That is my reaction.
I cuff her on the head for this with my
I mean, you're
extended
close enough.
hand.
Yeah, go for it.
What the fuck?
What are you doing? Do not attack.
I'm not attacking. I'm just ready.
Tybalt kind of like edges away from everybody. Gets out of the... not towards the creature, but like just, not near the grouping of people.
I would just like to say, this was not my idea. For the record,
This is not-
I was against
this is not the
okay?
time.
I was against this whole thing. So it's on you guys.
Your righteous indignation can save for later.
What are you?
As you all begin to talk, you can see the creature, like, it almost pulls its wings in against itself, and it shakes its head furiously, almost like it's trying to dislodge either like a bad smell or something like that. And with what looks like a lot of effort, its spines kind of come back into it, and it's shaking its head. Its eyes have gone dark as if they're closed, and after a moment, it opens them again, looms above you, and looks behind you the way you came.
I turn around. Is the rift still there?
What you see is like shredded drapery or fabric. Like somebody took a blade to like fine draped cloth and has just shorn it again and again and again and again and again. The world is torn, ripped into pieces, pieces of it almost folding in on itself and bunching up as it desperately tries to accommodate for missing space. It also almost looks wet, not dark or oozing, but like glistening, like there's almost like a sheen of sweat over the space in front of you. And as you turn towards this, from behind you, you hear a resonant voice. I didn't think it could go both ways. It wasn't supposed to go both ways.
Well, unfortunately, we didn't have a choice. We had to come through here.
Come through from where?
Some kind of temple deep below the earth's... deep below the ground.
Have you seen creatures? Have they come through?
Yes, we fought creatures just like these that came through.
You fought them, are they not safe? They were fleeing.
They...
And then at the mention of safety, its eyes again grow wide. You're not safe here. You're not supposed to be here. You're in danger.
Well, we're trying to get through. We're trying to get out of here. Can you point us in a direction of where we can go?
Go to leave? Go to... What do you mean?
Is there another one of these portals anywhere else around here that we can use to get out of here?
You were sending them through? Is that what you were doing?
I've been trying to stop them, but they've been getting past me.
What is happening here? Everything is collapsing. We just came through a collapsed area.
And again, you hear a groan as the wall of void inches just a little bit closer. The creature's wings beat against the ground. Its tail lashes back and forth irritably. And it turns away, looking back towards the forest, looking towards you, looking back towards the void and down at the lake below, and then looking at the creatures that are still in panic in this area. And then it steels itself. It's not safe here. Follow me, I'll try to get you someplace. And then it flinches again, almost like from the smoke from your fire is like acrid to it. It just seems like it's trying to
I'll snuff one out.
Steal itself away from it.
Yeah.
I would not use magic near creatures you do not know.
Wise words.
These things are hungry. I am hungry. This is a place of hunger. Be smarter. And it turns its back and looks towards the horizon, like frantically in one direction and then the other, trying to figure out what to do.
Snuff the other one out.
And you can see tension fall from its shoulders a little bit. Its wings kind of pull to its back more naturally. And its spines recede even a little bit more. You can't just stand here. It turns back towards you. And then it pauses for a moment. And then some of the panic seems to slip off of it. I know where to take you. You're looking for safety. I know where to take you.
Yes, we need something. We came here out of... We had no other choice. On the other side, the area we are in was collapsing, and there are panicked creatures in there too. Can you direct us anywhere we can go? We're just trying to pass through. We're trying to get to safety, and it seems that you want to get us to safety as well. Please, I mean, if there's anything we can do to help as well.
I do not know how to help you pass through. This is the only... It would take weeks to get you to the nearest pathway back to where you came from. This is it, for all I know, and I would not pass back through it if I were you. But I can get you someplace safe, and there might be a solution there.
Get out of the way, we don't have many other options.
If you could...
It looks over all of you. There's 6 of you. How...
Wait, 6?
And then it hesitates. And it kind of stares at the region, blinking a little bit.
Oh.
And then it shakes its head and it turns its back. Follow me. Follow me! And it takes off.
Oh, okay. I'll go. Yeah. And I go... Regent, sir?
Yeah. You take off after the creature, and Bass stands frozen in place, just shuddering, the fire to her front and this creature to her right, and she is just frozen. Lady O'Preed kind of moved and is tucked really close into you, Farlina. Is just like kind of like, she saw you had fire and she's like, cool, all right, I'm gonna follow this one. But no, Bass is frozen in place.
All right, Tybalt is gonna go over and do the classic slap her face, try and shake her out of it.
Oh, Jesus.
Bass,
Fuck,
Bass!
man, the fuck, what?
Get your shit together. We gotta go.
That is a demon.
Yeah, no,
Probably.
I know.
What?
Consorting with some fucked up magic here, but it's not the point right now.
What?
I think the region might be one of those kinds too. But let's keep moving.
And she sees
And
that
yeah.
all of you are moving, and
Yeah.
she is stuck between torn space, fire, and giant boars. And it's like, you know what? All right. And she kind of slowly makes her way, and then realizes that's leaving her at the back of the pack, and then speeds up and tries to get to the middle of the pack, and is just like holding herself around her middle. Are you just following this creature?
I guess so.
Yeah. What else is happening? So there's a rift cutting through the land. There are screaming creatures running around.
Wall of fire.
Anything else I can take in while we're moving here?
I mean, at the moment, the primary inhabitants in this area are these animals, this giant, like the giant boars, the deer, the elk. As you move behind this creature, you do see, like, you pass sort of close to one of the boars, which rears up, but the creature sort of turns towards it and flares out its wings, and the boar sort of skitters back. It looks like a boar. It does look like a boar. It definitely has boar-like features, but there's something wasted about it. Its skin almost dried and tight. Its eyes not quite focused in the way an animal's would be. It looks like it's been, like, dried out in a strange way, and it's also far too big. And as you sort of look in the distance at the deer and the elk, they don't look quite like the elk that you fought before. Those were distorted and looked like they'd, like, been ripped apart and put back together. These, again, they look like elk. They look like deer. They just look thin. Too thin to be alive by normal standards. Bones sort of picking out of their back, skin pulled tight. You make your way sort of past these creatures that seem to give the large monster a wide berth, and you make your way towards the forest on the right bank of the clearing that you encountered. The forest is sort of, like, tightly pressed together. There isn't like a path through it. And there's low scrub brush that's sort of high up to your ankles. It's not easy moving through this area, and it doesn't look like people have passed through this in quite some time. As you begin to make your way through, you sort of notice there's an oddness to the air around you. An oddness that sinks in over time. It's kind of like if you go out in cold weather, how once it's settled in, it's hard to shake even when you're back in warmth. It's dry and it's cold and it eats in slowly. I need you all to make a constitution check for me. No, Farlina, you're fine.
Not saving throws? It's probably been more than a minute.
Okay, we're gonna do for this one because let's do it a saving throw and it's within the minute. Let's just do it.
Wait, so what is Bless at?
1d4.
Okay. So that is 14 plus 17.
18.
5.
Okay.
Even though he has the
I'm not
medallion.
blessed.
You have the medallion?
That's not for this, I don't think.
It actually is.
Oh. Do I
Yeah.
get something?
So actually, you didn't need to make the save,
Oh,
but I
okay.
was interested to see what you get. Luckily, all of you are able to stave away the chill in the air, the dryness in the air. It doesn't quite seem to hit you, but you can feel the thread of it still there, still waiting almost. It tugs, for those of you who have magic, which is all of you in some way, shape, or form, it tugs at the energy that you use whenever you're trying to cast a spell. It's like that thoughtless energy of using a cantrip, but it's like it's trying to be taken from you. But you fight it off, and you feel the protective warmth of the bangle, not the bangle, the badge that you were able to procure from the statue, almost sitting on your skin like a protective barrier. You slowly make your way through the brush, stepping high. You feel the scratches on your legs and on your arms as you push through.
Is it daytime out? Like,
That is
what is
a fascinating question.
Okay.
Because it's neither day nor night. You look up and there is no sun in the sky, and the sky is an eerie purple. A sunless purple. There is light. It is pouring from the sky, from some sourceless place. You can see quite clearly, but it's indistinct. It's almost like hazy when the sun comes through dense clouds. It's diffuse. You know light is there, you can see, but it's off. It's strange, and it's purple, which is not what you are used to seeing. Except for Farlina, you've seen it from time to time. This is not a new experience to you. What's strange about the trees is that unlike the animals that you passed, they're very much alive. They have leaves, they have, like, they're sturdy and strong, but they are strange. They're unlike any trees you've seen before, and they do seem to almost cling to you and fight you as you try to make your way through. Luckily, a path is sort of carved by the creature in front of you that uses its 4-clawed arms to break branches as you progress through the space. It keeps tossing its head from side to side, thinking, and after a moment it changes direction and bursts through one side of the trees on the other side into another clearing. From there, you are able to look down, the void still to your left, but in front of you, the clearing stretches on into almost rolling hills. One side of one mountain begins to climb up to your left, but it hits the void and is cut off. And in the rolling hills in the distance, it's a far distance, it's probably like at least a mile away, but it's down so you can see it from here. You see something glinting. Something shining. It has a strange, almost blue quality to it. And it's not really putting out its own light, but it is catching everything in the area and throwing it back. All you can see from here is the very top of what looks like maybe a dome. It's hard to tell, but it is in the distance, and the creature perks up, nods, and gestures in that direction.
Is Jonathan keeping up okay with us through this?
Jonathan actually is walking fairly well.
Okay.
Better than he was certainly this morning, and better than he was even when he was walking through the rift. Yeah, he's strangely okay. He's not fast.
Yeah.
but he's walking.
I'd like to, like, catch his eye.
Okay.
And just be like...
Make a perception check.
Just, like, see if, if he wants to stay hidden. 18.
Okay. He is sweating profusely. He actually is not nearly as fine as he's looking. He can walk with confidence, but it seems to be costing him something.
Maybe I'll just ask him then, is this place familiar? Is this what we should be doing?
He wipes off some of the sweat off of his cheek and looks up. Not familiar to me.
Oh.
Which I realize is not helpful.
Well, less than we could have hoped for.
I have seen creatures somewhat like the one that we're following, but I can't say I have had a good experience with them, so I don't know how good an idea this is.
It doesn't look like anything I've seen before either, right? Yeah.
I mean,
Probably
roll
not.
History check?
Yeah, sure.
Animal handling. It never gets
That was a
used.
natural 20. 17.
Okay. Not like this.
Okay.
You've seen a couple things. You have seen corrupted people. You know what they look like. Corrupted humans, corrupted elves, corrupted things like that. And by that I mean you know that they don't all look the same. Corruption has very different effects on different beings. Mm-hmm. You have also seen, because of how Vaeltfur's relationship with dead things works, you have seen undead. This doesn't necessarily look like a corrupted person or an undead, but there are facets of them that remind you of both of those things.
So I know enough to go, this is an in-between creature, and that's about it, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, more or less.
Yeah, you can definitely tell this is influenced by the in-betweens.
I guess we just follow down to the dome.
No.
See what it is.
What is this place you're taking us to? I shout up to it.
When people pass here, they usually hide behind barriers. It keeps them safe. There's a barrier, and I cannot pass it, but you might.
Oh,
fair enough.
Yes, thank you. This is very helpful. This is what we need, I think.
This is the best I can do. Over the course of the next, 30 minutes, you follow this being. It's slow going. You have somewhat injured people, and after a little bit, the regent does begin to flag. He's keeping up, and he's kind of refusing help a little bit, but it looks like his energy's pretty low. Similarly, Lady Opreed was injured. She was healed, but she's struggling a little bit too. But you're able to sort of pick your way through the brush, through the trees, and down the harsh slope of this sort of mountainous hill into the valley below. Now, you're starting to get a little uncomfortable because the valley below is in the direction of the void. It's not right at the foot of this wall of void, but you do have to walk towards it and staring at this nothingness. Well, it's an experience I can barely describe. It's empty. It's a yawning emptiness, and just the concept of it sort of eats at the back of your mind. It sort of raises your animal brain a little bit. There's this panic that settles in, but you're able to make your way, and you follow the back of this large horned creature. And you walk, and you walk. And then in the midst of the trees, not in a clearing, but just sort of pushing up against old growth that has clawed its way around the barriered form, is what looks like a little pathway. It's a pathway that is lined on either side by strange glyphs, and the pathway itself is absolutely clear. There's no brush, no trees, no anything. And on either side of it rise walls of barrier that, like I said, push against the foliage around it. The barrier comes to an abrupt and almost jagged end. And on the sort of ground below, you see what look like very worn, very scarred glyphs that nonetheless seem to be holding. The creature pushes out with its wings, sort of pushing the trees away from you, and gestures towards it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Do you have a name?
I do not. I was never given one.
Well, either way, we really appreciate it.
Do you have any idea where we should go after this?
This is not an out. This is an enclosed place. But it is safe, and it sort of breathes hard for a moment, almost like it's excited. I believe there may be something you can do in there. I've been trying to get in there for ages, and I cannot, but you are people, and you may be able to cross.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's try it, and Tybalt will try to cross the barrier.
You're up first.
Dunk.
I was trying to see if there was a way for me to do that more dramatically, but perfectly. Yeah, you walk into a hard wall.
Alright, cool. I guess, yeah, Tybalt would kind of maybe test it before with his, like...
Nope.
But yeah, it's solid. It's solid. Yeah.
You broke your nose on it. Again.
Roll a constitution saving check. Well,
The creature kind of shudders and tilts its head and looks almost like bird-like. It's cocking from side to side, considering.
I'll go up and try and put my hand.
I think I'm human, but can't think of anything that would want to kick out. Anybody else want to try?
I go up and try and put my hand through.
Okay. It presses against glass.
So this is like the edge of a hallway. It's not the...
It's the edge of a hallway.
The perpendicular side?
Yeah. It's a flat edge. It's like, basically imagine a rectangle, and it's the short side.
Oh, okay.
Of a very long rectangle.
So this would be the out.
Yeah.
So we're literally just at the end of like
A hallway.
Yeah.
essentially, or the pathway.
Alright. I'll give it a whirl, and I'll lead with my medallion.
You press the medallion up against the edge of the hallway, and the barrier flickers. It doesn't fall, but you can see it has a strange, like, almost liquid quality to it.
Poke my other hand through it.
Yeah, it goes through.
Alright, one at a time.
I'll move through. Yeah.
No blood this time.
I'll take Lady Opreed with me because I think she's still on my arm.
Okay. You all pass through the barrier kept sort of liquid by the contact of the medallion. Tamhir, you sort of stand there and let everybody go through. You pull Lady Opreed through. Jonathan stumbles through and immediately sinks to like the ground. Is just panting and sweating and looks terrible. And the creature is like vibrating. It looks delighted. Its head is tossing from side to side, its wings sort of bunched up against its body and like jittering, and it just seems it has too much energy to contain in itself.
Is it like excited and like relieved at the same time, or
It has a lot of energy.
oh wow.
And it sort of
Long
ducks along.
obsession.
It ducks alongside the barrier, and like after the wall has fallen, and after a moment, can you still hear me?
Can we hear him?
Yeah, you can hear.
Yes, we can still hear you through here.
Have I gone through?
I mean, you can't.
Yeah, I'll sort of like do that thing. I'll hold it there and like inch my way around it just to make sure, and then pull it through real quick.
Fair enough. Probably a good call.
So I don't get like cut in half. That would be real bad.
Very good call.
Oh god.
Well done. Yeah, as you're all standing, you feel beautiful, intricate cobblestones beneath your feet. It's just a long cobblestone pathway built in the middle of this forest. It's very dark because the trees have grown over this. Even in some places, roots and branches interconnecting to lock over the space in a dark tunnel. The sound of the creature is muffled, but you can definitely hear it.
Yes, we can hear you, and thank you so much for taking us here. I think this will keep us safe, at least for now. Do you know where this leads?
Yes, I wasn't expecting that to work. I wasn't expecting that to work.
Honestly, and I point to Tybalt and Tamhir, I'm like, it's these two that
You know what?
made the decision on the whim.
You were right. This is way more useful than I thought it would be.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And I'm man enough to admit that.
Claps him on the back. I'm glad I didn't have to say I told you so. Because, I mean, I could say it. I have every right to say it.
You do.
But, we'll let you know what we find inside. It seems like you're interested.
It like places a clawed hand on the barrier, and the barrier like goes crazy at that. It crackles and burns, but it just keeps its clawed hand on there and knocks its head kind of low, so it's looking at all of you. Thank you. I'll be here, and if you need, I can help in whatever way I can. I haven't been in there for a very long time.
How long have you been here?
I don't know the answer to that.
Would you like a name?
You are welcome to give me one.
Maybe we'll find it in here.
That, and he knocks his horns sort of against the railing, and that would be everything to me. And it backs away, and the barrier stops crackling.
We'll see what we can give you in return. Thank you.
And you turn towards the long cobbles pathway in front of you.
So no magic.
We
Anybody
all...
have a regular torch? I have a magical torch.
You're
So I don't
asking-
really want to use that.
You're asking the fire woman if she
Fine,
has
I'm
a
asking,
regular
I'm
torch.
asking you two guys.
So roll a perception check real quick.
Okay.
All my stuff was taken from me because I was in prison.
All of
so.
us are just...
No, just Tamhir.
okay.
21.
Good.
Okay.
That was a bad roll.
You notice immediately upon crossing into this enclosed space that the air feels different. It's no longer so dry, no longer so cold. It feels almost humid in a strange way. It's almost oversaturated with like light and energy.
Hey, Firestarter.
Yes. I have a name, though.
Do you want to try?
And I light up a produce flame in my hand.
For a moment, it's a little bit like conjuring fire besides the altar. There's a moment where the fire rages stronger than you expected, and then it's gone and it's fine, and it settles back down into the normal, manageable flame that you're comfortable with and you're used to. You hold it in your hand.
You feeling okay?
Yes, I'm feeling wonderful. I think this is good. This feels all right.
I'll pull out my torch then.
Okay. The light blazes from the center of the torch, and it seems fine.
Okay. Onward?
I believe so.
Let's go
Well,
for it.
I'll look back at the Regent. Onward or in a little bit?
And he's just breathing hard.
I've got water. Get some water.
Maybe if it's safe here, leave me here for a moment.
Okay.
Or not. And he braces a hand against the barrier, and it sort of vibrates and pulses, and it seems to sting him, and he
What
pulls
does
his
it
hand back.
look like when our demon friend touched it versus when Jonathan touches it? Just asking.
Fairly similar.
Yeah, alright.
We already determined that we can't read these glyphs. I think we tried that way back in the collapsed tunnel.
Yeah, you did try
I
that.
tried to comprehend
These are-
languages.
These are the same glyphs?
I mean, that would be the question, is are these the same
I'm not sure
glyphs?
if I did.
Can I look at them?
Yeah.
Alright.
Make an Arcana check.
Sweet. Natural 20.
These are the same
26.
glyphs.
Okay.
You're 100% confident these are the
Yes.
same glyphs.
These are the same glyphs.
Thank you. If you're comfortable staying, or we can leave some of us here, some of us venture on.
I guess, how big is this hallway and this space?
Probably about 6 feet across.
Okay.
How are the rest of you doing? And I turn to, like, Bass and Lady Opreed.
Bass just has 2 hands over her mouth and is just staring. She keeps sort of glancing at the creature, who hasn't moved too far away. It's settled back a little bit and seems to be it's looking away from you all now, out towards the forest and around, just sort of alert. But Bass is just fixed on this creature.
I know it's a lot.
Can we move?
Yes, I think that is what we
I'm
must do.
sorry, sir, Regent, sir. I'll help, but can we move? Yes?
I think we can move. If
Or you
if
can
the
leave
Regent
someone
can
with
move
him.
as well.
The Regent nods quickly, it kind of like in a... like he can't quite hold his head up, but he does, after a moment, brace himself.
Are you okay, sir? This seems like... this is...
I am fine. I am fantastic. Thank you for asking. And he just, like, quavers on his feet a little bit.
Could he borrow your staff?
I don't know. I didn't know Jonathan would want to touch something of mine. Might do him some harm.
I take Lady Opreed by the arm, and then I put a hand behind Bass, and I just start walking them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lady Preed nods and strides forward.
I just start walking them down the hallway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Valen.
And then after a moment, Lady Preed just starts kind of, like, walking faster. Just, like, a little bit. Like, do you all start to make your way down the hallway?
I'm already
I'll
moving.
bring up the rear.
Yeah.
All right. You make your way down this tunnel. It's a long tunnel. It's dark and oppressive, and the trees like get denser and denser as you make your way forward. But after a little while, you see a light at the end of the tunnel, a opening in front of you, and you begin to make your way towards it. And you walk into a clearing. Sort of a clearing. There's like a small building erected in front of you, but it's a big pavilion that leads to that building. The building has 2 open doorways. It's almost like big arches. And behind it rises... well, it's another forest, but it's a forest like nothing you've ever seen. Inside this dome is what looks like a cultivated... well, on one hand there's a rainforest, and then to your right there's a different type of forest. Past that, there's foliage of something you've never seen before. All these different environments pressed into a very small place and pressing up against the large dome above it. It looks like it's some sort of cultivated garden. Overgrown, impossibly overgrown, and looking back and back, it looks larger than you could have imagined. The top of the dome that you were able to see from far off does not represent the enormity of this place.
Are they planted in like equal rows, like an orchard?
No, it's sprawling and strange. In
They're
front
just
of you
in
is
sections.
yeah. You just can see from here that there are different types of trees that sort of press up against the dome. Before you, again, is a cobblestoned floor. Although in some places it sort of ends in stone like walls, and beyond that are what look like almost enclosures. To your left is a very shallow pond. It's overgrown and strange, and there's algae that's sort of eating over the stone wall there. But there's a pond there with like plant growth and even lily pads in some places growing huge on its surface.
Are things green? Or are they like purple? Are they different colors? Like, is it verdant?
It is verdant. Well, it is highly saturated is the way that I would put it.
Okay.
There are many different colors. Much of it in front of you is green. There's looming pine trees right in front of you. And before you, on the other side of the building and the archways, there look to be two paths that split and wander out into this enclosure. But the reason you can sort of see that there are different types of trees is because some of them are fantastically colored. There are like glowing blue leaves off in the distance. And sort of on the ground, you see bright, almost luminous fungi.
You're losing your shit right now.
I think I had already snuffed out all my fire earlier, so.
Would Tybalt have ever seen fungi like that before?
Roll a nature check.
13?
You sort of kneel down and examine some of the fungus that's growing along the cobblestones in this sort of clearing ahead of you. Some of it looks like it maybe has a distant relative of fungus that you've seen, or fungi that you've seen. It's familiar, but in a very distant way.
Okay.
Sort of like seeing a water bird and knowing it's a water bird, but not
Yeah.
what type it is or anything like that. Yeah.
Cool.
Well, this was unexpected.
Somebody wanted to have a plantation deep in the in-betweens?
I'll just sort of wonder out loud, sort of absentmindedly. I wonder if the craftsman is here.
Like the person who made
Sorry,
it?
What?
Oh,
What?
nothing.
I mean, maybe that poor soul out there was the craftsman. Seems like
Maybe.
they had a hand in building it.
Who is
could be.
the craftsman exactly?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? You mentioned him by name right now.
That's not a name.
Can I tell if he's lying?
Inside check.
Oh, is that a 20?
No, because it's on the wall.
Are you sure?
It seems like a nat
You're
20.
not
I
sure.
think it's a nat 20.
I think it's a nat 20.
Is it a nat 20?
call it a
You
20.
witnessed me.
I didn't.
Witnessed.
But it's actually a 19. So
Like a billion, yeah. I don't know. Am I even deceiving right now? 9.
oh, okay.
Well, what does
you're
she
not-
glean from that? No, he was sorry.
Not
He was being
deceiving.
facetious. It was a 9. Okay, he rolled a 4.
Oh no,
Audio
I rolled
only
a
4
7.
that. You're good.
I rolled a
That's a
7.
very good point.
Plus 2. What did she clean from that?
Not usually.
I'm
it's like-
being evasive. I think that's clear.
I just narrow my eyes for a moment and look at him. Well, I guess we can go through here and see if there's...
Is there like a main path towards the center?
There's a central path that leads to the two archways. There's space on either side, and you can see sort of a crumbling wall there that looks like maybe it was once blocked off to funnel people through the two archways, but now it feels more open. But beyond that, there are 2 roads that lead in opposite directions.
This is really beautiful. I've never seen anything like this in the in-betweens before. I didn't even know this was possible. But I guess this is sort of how Viltfor works. It's within a barrier like this.
Clearly made.
Is our friend still with us?
It's hard to tell because the trees are pressing in so close on the sides here. So, potentially, make a perception check.
20?
Okay. You sort of peer through the pressed branches, and looking up, you do see what look like the top of its long, curved back horns. It seems like it's been walking alongside with you, but it can't really see in, and you can't really see it.
All right, let's. Can we make it up to like the fork
Yeah.
and see if there's anything there?
Are you gonna go through the building or around the side of it?
The path intended, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Through
Why
it.
not? You know, they built it.
You walk straight and encounter this low building with its 2 entryways. It's sturdily built. It's made out of wood, but for reasons that you can't quite tell, the wood has remained solid despite the growth of fungi over the bottom of it and sort of up its side. You duck inside and it's musty, and on either, both to your left and to your right, are what look like low stone counters. Looking behind them, you see like junk that's piled up in like this dark corner. But in front of you is the exit into the, what you believe is the sort of the park itself.
Can I look at the counters and see if they were used for anything? If there's any like anything left on it, or like if it was used for like cutting stuff, maybe like drying something, maybe there's like some kind of residue on it.
Make an investigation check.
And I wanted to check the piles of junk.
Okay.
I wanted to like poke around in there.
You do.
Ooh, 19.
Okay.
Ooh. 20.
All right. Both of you sort of peer over the side of these counters, looking over into the corner, and also looking beneath the counter, where you see that there's sort of empty space. In the empty space set below the counter are a series of drawers. The counter itself does not seem to be have been used for cutting or anything like that. It's very smooth stone. Mm-hmm. Even pockmarked with age, you can tell that it was like very refined. You can examine the drawers in a moment if you'd like. Looking in the corner, you don't really see anything in the pile of junk, but to its right, underneath the counter, you see the decayed remains of maybe a bag, some sort of fabric bundle.
I'm gonna go check that out.
Okay.
Open that up or like cautiously no, actually not cautiously, just go pick it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
You do so, and as you sort of unfurl the crumbling fabric, you find a couple of items inside this container.
Is it like a traveling sack? Does it
it
look
looks like somebody like tossed it underneath this counter, maybe to hide it or tuck it away, or maybe just for storage. But inside, you find a couple of things. You find a sturdy, like really thick pair of gloves that are completely untouched by time. They're like almost like falconer's gloves. They're like really thick leather material. You find a whistle. You find a knife. And you find a ring.
Ooh.
Gardener's
Does
kit.
Tybalt see that she finds a ring? Or I guess
Yeah,
I'm still
you're both
at
looking in the same place.
Yeah.
So you can see Farlina sort of jump to the other side of the counter and discover this little bundle.
Look at these things.
That's real neat. Tybalt looks at the ring, and does it look like the ring that he's had since the beginning of the adventure?
It does not.
Cool.
It is actually very finely made. And, well, it's strange. It's simple, much like your ring. Mm-hmm. But you can see that there's a level of craftsmanship to it that's not quite the same as yours.
Okay.
I could take a look if you'd like.
I can't tell if any of them would feel magical just by like looking at them, would I? Yeah. Does everything look new, or does it look just untouched?
It looks like it was... make an Arcana check.
Oh, okay. 14.
Okay. Glancing at the remnants of the sort of crumbling bag, you can see that there's like faint, maybe magical etching on it. Looks like these items were protected.
I see.
Tybalt's gonna look in the drawers underneath the counters then.
Okay. You try a drawer, it's locked.
Hey, Tamhir.
Hmm?
You any or Tamhir or Valen, any y'all good at opening locks?
I can be.
Shit, well, we got some locks here.
I can try as well.
I mean, Farlina would probably just blast the damn thing, so
If that's just what you want, I can do that.
I think we should be a little more
You want to go first?
circumspect.
I'll try.
It
I'll try my
cost
hand.
me a little bit.
Okay, I'll give it a go.
Okay. There is a lock on the drawer, so what you gonna do?
I don't think I have a thieves kit.
Oh, I do.
You do?
I'll reach into one of my packs.
I thought rogues
passing
get
off.
thieves.
Yeah, you definitely have a...
You have
Oh,
to-
okay.
he
Well,
has, he has
yeah.
proficiency.
I don't know that I would have brought
But whether
them.
he has
Oh,
them.
well, that's
But
fair.
I
like,
have
I
a set.
Actually, here's a serious question. Would you, on a night on the town, have brought your thieves' tools when meeting with a friend?
Probably.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Like, we're gonna have a free hour here and there. We'll get into some shit.
Probably.
Exactly.
Okay, good.
You reach into sort of like a concealed pocket built into your armor and pull out your trusty set of thieves'
I'm
tools.
sure they're gold or some shit.
That'd be a terrible idea. They'd
They're
be knocked out.
filigreed. They're at least
Halfway through.
filigreed.
All right.
Perfect.
So this is a dexterity check with your proficiency modifier.
Oh, natural 20.
Oh, fuck.
yes.
You just saunter up, pull out your tools, sort of smirk to the side, and pop. It is the easiest thing you've ever done. And you
right.
very smoothly pull the drawer out.
I don't need to go second then. That's fine.
Inside, you see what looks like, again, the sort of decayed remains of a wooden box. It's rotted on the side, and you can sort of see inside are a collection of coins. Looks like after sort of tabbing through it, it's like maybe 35 gold and 20 silver. Not like any coinage you've ever seen before. This is not like your the coins that are used in Gwyn or Waxen or Gauntler. These look like gold and silver coins, but they're unrecognizable.
Oh, because I was just gonna ask if I recognized a figure stamped on them. Most coins have.
No, that's
something.
totally true. Make a perception check or make a history check with disadvantage because the coins themselves have aged a lot.
Okay. Ooh, still really good. 23.
Okay. What you can see is that they don't have a figure necessarily stamped on them. Instead, it's more a series of geometric shapes. The gold ones, actually, it seems like there's two different types of gold ones, although you can't quite tell the difference between the two. But they have just slightly different, like I said, geometric forms on them.
But I've not seen.
You've not seen this
anything like
before.
Well, so I have a couple of things that I found. I don't know if they do anything particular, but it looks like they were being protected in some sort of bag. They might have some use or significance for everybody. I cannot figure out exactly what they are, but maybe someone else can. Or maybe someone wants to take them and
I mean,
have
these
them.
look like nice gloves for pruning trees.
Is that what they look like? Like just really nice gardening gloves, or
I
Pretty
can
close.
also
They
take a
look
look.
like they would be really good gardening gloves. They're very they're that thick material.
they're
Yeah.
not really my style.
And is the knife like a knife or a dagger or like
make
a machete?
Make an investigation check.
Oh, all right. Oh, it's low. 9.
Okay. Looks like a pocket-sized knife.
Okay.
It doesn't look like a machete or anything long to be used for cutting back trees or anything like that.
Kind of flip it around a little bit. You're like, do you want this? And I offer it to Valen.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Alright.
So I'll just
Do you want me to take a closer look at any of these things?
examine it and see how it feels.
Okay. Looks like a simple knife to you. I mean, unless you want it, what are you trying to do to learn more about it?
Just check if it has any engraving or
Okay.
anything along the hilt, probably.
It doesn't appear to.
Okay.
Well, I also have this ring that I'm quite interested in.
Yeah, rings are generally a good bet.
It kind of fits my style a little better.
If
than
I have to make a
gloves.
choice when I'm looting somewhere,
you-
rings are always sell.
Can you tell me what this is?
All right, it's gonna take me a minute.
Okay.
It's gonna take me 11 minutes.
Okay. Are you casting identify?
I'm guessing identify as a ritual,
Okay.
but other stuff can occur.
Yeah. You sort of settle down behind the counter as everybody's continuing to just sort of look around and explore the space. You set out your components and you focus on this ring. And you focus. And suddenly the magic snaps together and an understanding sort of sparks to life in your mind. It's a nice ring. It's a nice ring. It's got a nice little inlay. It's a very attractive ring.
Mm-hmm. This ring will keep you safe
Really?
from poverty. You can sell it if if you ever need lodging or food, something like that. Have I seen craftsmanship like it before? Or is it just like a nicely filigree ring?
It's a nicely filigree
Okay.
ring. It's like
Is it silver? Or is it gold?
So it's silver, but it has like little either like brass inlay or something like that.
I don't know. Maybe 50 gold. Not the end of the world.
It will be I don't know, a little safety net, I guess. I slip it on.
All right, I guess it's yours.
Does anyone want some garden gloves? The garden man, do you want these?
I don't really need them, but
I don't know if any. Well, given that most of the things in this bag don't appear to be magical, they're just some things. So
feels like whoever was
I
in
haven't
charge
checked them
of
out.
maintaining.
if you would like to check, I just gave Valen a knife if you wanted to look at that, but
Can I-
it just took you a long time to
Sure.
look
Can
at
I just
it.
look at the knife and see if I think it is magical
Sure,
before
make
I
an
do
Arcana check.
before I do that again? 19.
Okay. After looking at it, it doesn't have any like runes set into it, but there's something about the blade that feels like it might be a little like there's something to it.
It might be worth the effort if you want.
It doesn't put off like strong magical vibes, but you definitely feel something.
Does it seem like it has
I'm
something?
not sure.
Well, if he
I could do it later.
What he could also just spend some time with it. Maybe it might come to you
It's always
if
a
you,
risk.
if you concentrate on it for a little bit.
Okay.
Remember where we are.
That's true. We don't have a lot of time, but any sort of protection could be of use.
Fair enough. Anyways, I mean, this just seems like a groundskeeper's cabin. I don't think we're gonna find. Maybe we got to go deeper in the forest.
What
to
if
find
this
more
person
interesting
is still
things.
here and we just took their stuff?
Maybe.
They had a nice ring.
Hey,
mean,
you stole
look
their
at-
wedding ring, and now you're
Look
wearing
at the
it
state of
around.
this place, though.
Yes, it did seem
This
very.
isn't lived in.
Okay. So who's taking the gloves, whistle, ring, and knife? I know you're taking the knife, Valen.
I'll grab the gloves. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll have a fun whistle.
Okay.
And I'll have the ring.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Is
Good
it-
stuff.
is it
Everyone
like
gets a thing.
Is it like a coach's whistle or like a dog whistle?
Like a dog whistle.
Okay.
Who wants the gold?
I mean, we split it all evenly.
Does it
Seems
have
the
any
fair way to do
value?
it.
I think we're
I-
getting stuck in some minutia here, and maybe we should just,
If it's okay,
continue
I'd like.
into this unusual magical garden before us.
If it's okay, I'll hold on to the coinage for later. I've not seen anything like this before, and I've held quite a few coins.
Probably not as much.
Okay.
Do you collect
Probably not
coins?
as much as the noble over there.
He collects many of the same coin,
That's true.
Yeah.
and probably mostly in favors.
You're making assumptions about the person you do not know.
Do you have a lot of money?
Sure.
That's no.
Of course I do.
I know his type. He has a name.
Anyways, let's go deeper in this forest before we get too caught up.
All right. Are you taking any time with the blade or no? All right.
Yeah.
It will take you an
playing with
hour.
it.
Oh, do you have to
Oh.
do that on a short rest?
But I don't have
No,
to sleep.
I think just like an hour later.
Yeah, just like an hour
so
holding
long as
it,
you
yeah.
don't have anything attuned that like you have to choose to unattune to something if you're
Yeah.
going to reattune to
Well, you-
something.
you can
if that's
have-
your deal.
You can have so many things attuned, right?
Yeah.
I
Oh,
have like
okay.
3
Three.
things, yeah.
3 things. Okay.
So yeah, you can just play with it as we're walking.
Just gonna juggle it, or
Yeah.
visual gag.
Throw it.
Throwing it around, tossing it from hand to hand.
It's actually cool.
Yeah.
All right, we can move on.
All right.
Where did the rest of the group go? While we were sort of poking around for about 10 minutes.
So pretty much immediately upon getting into the clearing, the regent had stumbled over to the decayed wall and has just settled down against it. And he's leaned in on himself. His arms are like crossed over his like knees, and he's ducked his head away. You can't see his face. Lady O'Preed actually kind of jumped over the wall and is on the other side, past like basically if you exited this building you're currently in. She seems to be just wandering around that area, and Bass just sat beside the regent, like she's yeah.
We need to keep moving.
yeah. Maybe
I-
we tell him to stay in this cabin here. Seems like a relatively safe place.
That could be the case. I think it did them it might have been some good for us to have stopped here for about 10 minutes, so gave them a chance to sit down at least.
Yeah.
Should we leave them here? What are we trying to do? We're still trying to get out. We're trying to find a way
We just
through.
don't know what's in here.
We just gotta explore
We
what's
need
here.
to know what's here.
So we just gotta keep moving.
Would you like to stay together? Or would you like to stay here?
Who's that
At
directed
those
at?
three. I guess those two sitting.
Yeah, because Lady Opre's over. The regent lifts his head up, and he's just stark white.
Here
I
is
think
good.
stay here is good. Bass is like, I'll stay with them. I don't know about her, and gestures over the wall, but
Well, about an
this
hour.
is supposed to be safe, right?
We hope so.
I believe so. We're within a barrier, and we're not being affected by the rest of the in-betweens right now. So that creature was correct. This was our best bet.
Bass nods her head. Yeah, it's good to be out of that, like, that cold. It's hard to shake. And she, like, scratches at her chest a little bit.
Jonathan, that magic you're using to talk to your wife, does that only work for her, or any way you could use it to call for help? Something bad happens around here?
I can call other people, but not anyone you know, likely. Is there somebody you want me to try to contact?
Nah, I was thinking something comes and bothers you while we're in the woods.
I think he means us.
Yeah. Can you talk to us?
Sort of stares forward and leans back and starts, like, patting at his clothing, his armor, and sort of the cloth that sits beneath it, and after a while pulls out what looks like a bracelet almost. It's a single black strip with a orange dot on one side, and he like turns it from side to side. It's I'm actually not super sure if this is gonna work. This is a prototype, but it's worth a shot. And he holds it forward.
I'll take it.
Okay. And it's like, go over there. And just gestures to the other side.
I'll go walk over, holding the bracelet.
And after a moment, he sort of pulls back one of his sleeves and taps his wrist, and you can see, like, almost embedded in his skin, an orange light ignite. And he leans towards it and says, "Can you hear me, Farlina?"
Do I hear him?
You do.
Yes, I do. Can you hear me back?
I can. I won't be able to after you say too much.
Okay, limited words then.
Okay. And the light on his wrist sort of goes out.
All right. I feel better now.
Now we at least, and I walk back and be like, now we at least have some sort of contact. Does someone else, I mean, I'll slip it
Foul
on.
on you?
Yeah.
Will you melt it with the fire? I don't know. That was my
Maybe
Still
not.
have- you still have
fire
fire on your
hands.
I mean, I have quite adept at controlling my flames.
You just put a little further up.
Yeah, like,
I guess
Forearm.
it does kind of clash. a
Yeah,
little bit
it
with
is actually
my-
pretty close.
my
That's actually a pretty
bracers.
good point.
Yeah. All right. And I'll give it to Valen. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
I'll wear it.
Okay.
Cool.
Sounds good. All right. So, what is your plan?
We go deep into the woods.
Further in.
Yeah.
Okay. You cross through the building that you had investigated, move into the entrance to the main park, and over to your left you see Lady Opre, who is standing at another one of the sort of stone walls. There seem to be stone pillars that maybe once had something set on top of them, but whatever that is either fallen or decayed or something. But one of the stone pillars is wider than the others, and she seems to be just staring at it. As you come towards her, you can see that there is a brass or bronze or some sort of, orangish metal set into this stone. And it seems like there's, like, a plaque affixed to it. And Opre is running her fingers over what looks like a raised design that's on the plaque. As you walk closer, you see that the plaque seems like it has almost like an animal embossed on it. That's what she's sort of running her fingers over. It's hard to tell what it is. Any detail has been lost, but it does seem to have like a long bird-like shape to it, like a long neck and sort of long legs, and sort of set into the plaque is the remnants of words. It's, again, very hard to make out what it says, but at the top it says, like, in memory, and then very little. And then further down, it has another sort of description that you can almost read, which says, rescued during the evacuation of, and then some space. Favorite foods include branches of, and then some space.
Miss Lady, is this familiar to you?
No, it's just, well, familiar is a funny word. One of my relatives owned a menagerie. They collected rare animals and showed them off. It was a point of pride. I always thought it was a little terrible, but I don't know, this reminds me, it's like, I don't know, it reminds me of her menagerie. It's like a zoo.
Huh. That is interesting. Can I take a look with you?
Yeah.
Do I see it, can I make out any more of the words? Or it's just kind of worn and...
It's just worn down. Even the words you can make out, you're sort of guessing.
What language is it in?
It's in common.
Okay.
It's kind of like it's like not a cousin, but is it something like an echo of something you remember you saw when you were a kid? Like you'd seen it before, but it's not really quite the same, right?
I guess that's sort of what it's like.
A lot of the plants here are like that to me.
Yeah. It's familiar. It's comforting.
It's
This is a terrible place we're in. And she looks back behind her towards where you left the creature at the gate. But at least we're inside. I think it's safer inside.
This is something, at least. I'm amazed that these plants are able to even live here. But you're right, it does seem a bit like a collection of sorts.
Maybe not a zoo, maybe a garden?
Perhaps. But just passed through an area where maybe that's where the garden keep was. That's what we were thinking.
And her eyes go wide at that. There's someone here. And suddenly the tension that seems to have dropped from her shoulders
No.
settles back in.
It was very old and ruined, and it seemed like
Empty.
empty. Indeed.
Do you think someone died here?
I do not know. I really don't know. We found some of their supplies and things, but it looked like there was once somebody here, but it doesn't seem like they are here anymore.
She turns towards you, Tamhir. I saw you gave that woman Bass. You gave her something, but you offered her a knife.
That's true.
Could I have that knife?
Do you know how to use it?
And she hesitates for a moment. Yes.
All right. I'll give her my boot knife.
Okay. She holds onto it, and like her grip is a little awkward, but she breathes out heavily. I'm going to stay here. Unless you would like me to go with you. I don't know whether you like us staying behind. It seemed to make sense before, and since that worked out, I guess, since that worked out, and I guess we're still alive, I will let you do that again if that's what you want.
I would like to judge her intentions in staying behind.
Make a freaking insight check.
21.
21. Oh. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. She rolled like a...
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, she seems... It's hard to tell.
She seems intent with.
She seems intent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want me to stay? Is that it? Yes? Do you want me to come with you?
Do you feel like you could help us if you came with us?
How am I supposed to know?
I do not know either. We just...
Do you feel comfortable knowing what's going on or staying behind?
And that gives her pause. I think it would be best if I stayed. I'll stay. And she turns on her heel and makes her way back off over to the crumbled wall, and she sort of steps over it.
There's a very significant look between Farlina and Valen that was not portrayed in audio.
Valen and Farlina have just been sharing just strong eye
Well,
contact.
I'm gonna lean over. I assume I'm standing next to Val. I'm gonna lean over. Tell Jonathan to keep his eyes open.
Okay.
I'll wait. I'll wait until she has moved far enough away from us, and lean over to Valen and just quietly whisper that to him.
Okay. What do you do, Valen?
I'm gonna try and use the bracelet.
Okay. You press on it, and the light comes to life.
This is Valen. Lady Opreed is gonna stay with you guys, but keep your eyes open and let us know if anything bad happens.
The light goes dim. Yes, I see her. She's right there. She has a knife. And you can kind of, you're like close enough that you can hear his voice.
Oh,
Good.
man.
And you do hear like a low, like breathy laugh from Bass. Like
God.
Just like, you guys think I shouldn't have done that?
No, I think that was the proper thing to do.
It made her feel better.
You made her feel better. It makes me feel better that they have another weapon.
That is true.
Probably
Yes.
should give her more daggers, honestly.
I only have the one.
I see what you mean.
Hey, to keep
Should we
him safe.
give
I
the
don't know what you're
region a
talking
knife?
about.
Like,
He doesn't seem to need it.
true.
Well, they have decided to stay behind.
Anyways.
Lady Opreed has
I'm very
decided to stay
interested to
behind.
see what is in the center of the dome.
This is quite intriguing. Hopefully it can give us some answers on getting out of here. And yes.
I've given our friend a name in my head, and I'll be very disappointed if it's not the same if we do find it.
I
So-
will be so curious to hear what you are
Wait,
considering.
what's the name?
Nope, that comes up later.
Yeah, only if we can't find it. Well, let's get moving.
I'm calling him
Chooses
friend.
Tamhir chooses to sit on the name that he wants to give this creature that I guess you've befriended. And you turn your backs on the Regent, Lady Opreed, and Bass, and turn towards the looming, multifaceted forest that rises before you. You see to your left a path, and to your right a path. And next time, I think we'll decide which way you go.
Thank you for listening to In-Betweens Episode 8. In-Betweens was written by Gina Smith, starring Gina Smith, Allison Mann, Gus Ireland, Evan Falco, and Victor Mann. The music was composed, orchestrated, and recorded by Jacob Ryan Smith. D&D Major was created by Gina Smith, Jacob Ryan Smith, and Allison Mann. If you're interested in supporting the creators and future productions, consider donating to our Patreon at patreon.com/ShortOneGaming. Or to see our Let's Plays and other projects, subscribe to our YouTube channel, ShortOneGaming.